Hi everyone, this is Dr. Julie Damron, local veterinarian for over 20 years. I am so excited about my new radio show, Tales and Tips, on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Voice of Stockton, and KXVS Radio. I will discuss relevant issues affecting animals and pet owners today, how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
KXVS 92.1 coming soon. KXVS.
Good morning, Stocktonians, and welcome to another episode of Tales and Tips. We are going to have an exciting show today talking about the emergency food bank, but before that, I have a couple community details that I wanted to share. I wanted to give a shout out to Toys for Tots, who's going to be doing a toy drive, and they're doing it through the Reserve Golf Club. They are having a golf event on Sunday, December 10th, and it starts at 8 a.m., and they're doing a special thing where the fees are $35 per player. If you bring an unwrapped gift, you get complimentary green fees. So come and support Toys for Tots. Once again, that is Sunday, December 10th. And if you're interested in participating in that golf tournament at the Reserve, you can call Ted Wong at 916-747-9256 or Danny Yandel at 209-815-2202, and make sure to tell them that you heard about it on Tales and Tips on the Voice of Stockton. And I also wanted to talk to Gov about an event that he and I were at recently. And Gov is amazing because for the past several months, he's been running the board for my show. And I really appreciate it because it lets me focus on the people and the work that they're doing. I don't have to worry about the behind the scenes because he's always handling that for me. Sometimes it's his son, sometimes it's Dustin, but the majority of times it's Gov. And I just wanted to chat with Gov for a little while. How are you, Gov?
I'm doing fine. How about you, Doc?
I'm doing great. Do you want to talk about an event that we were at together last Friday?
Wasn't it amazing?
It was amazing.
Yes, the Patriots Ball, inaugural Patriots Ball over at the DeRosa Center at UOP. That was a wonderful evening. It was really actually, I think, a high honor, considering, and it's a statistic I didn't really know until the event, how they talked about less than 1%. I think it was 1/10 of 1% of American families actually serve. So it's a great privilege to be
small amount, but it's a lot of people.
Company of such, yes.
It's a lot of people. And for those of you that don't know about the Patriots Ball, and before we go there, I want to give a shout out to UOP because UOP outdid themselves and they helped us so much in organizing this event. And Chad Reed, who is the veterans coordinator at UOP, was so pivotal in helping our event. He was one of our committee members. But the inaugural Patriots Ball was the brainchild of Dave Avila, who is the vice president for the Disabled American Veterans Charities. And this was his vision, to have an event that celebrated veterans and patriots, so civilians as well, in our community who work to help the veterans. And it was breathtaking. We had both ballrooms and lots of pageantry. Bob Appler, thank you, from VFW. He was there with the honor guard, and they presented the colors, and the Stockton Portsmen sang, and it was just so majestic, and people were there. It was a black tie affair, and so people were wearing ball gowns, tuxedos, and just so elegant. And we honored 4 people from our community. Our civilian honoree was Dr. Elizabeth Blanchard for all of her amazing work for veterans. Tino Adami was our community service veteran who just is out there every day trying to help the veterans. And then we also honored Jim Woodward, who is actually a great friend of mine from the Rotary Club of Stockton, and he fought in 3 different physical wars. He was in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, as well as the Cold War, and he was very instrumental, along with Bob Blauer, in getting our Community World War II memorial that we have on the waterfront.
Yeah. And
he's helped to maintain it. He sold the bricks for it. And then we also honored the John Perry family, and he is up for a Congressional Medal of Honor. He unfortunately passed away during his service, a young gentleman in his 30s, and just true heroes that we honored. And Kevin Dobson was our MC. We had a Touch of Magic perform. It was a served catered dinner, a hosted bar, just a really wonderful event. About 300 people in the community came out to honor and fundraise for veterans. And I was honored that Dave entrusted me to chair this event because it's so important. Veterans are really underserved in our community, and our county has over 32,000 veterans. We are one of the biggest areas of veterans in California, and just really underserved. We're still working on our hospital, and Susan Eggman actually was out this weekend fighting to get the Veterans Hospital built. This is a project that's been going on now for years and years in terms of trying to figure out the logistics. They have not laid one brick. They haven't dug into the ground yet, and it's sad. I would like to work towards having a veterans museum to pay tribute to all the people in our community that were willing to write that check with their lives. Our freedom is not free. And Saturday, I'm sure most of you are aware, is Veterans Day, and there's going to be a big ceremony at the Bob Hope Theater at 11 a.m. So it's on the 11th month, the 11th day, at the 11th hour. And that came out of commemoration for World War I, but it celebrates all veterans. And today, the County Board of Supervisors is going to be presenting a proclamation at 1:30 to veterans. I'll be privileged to be a part of that as a member of the American Legion Carl Ross Post Auxiliary. And it's exciting that our community is starting to, there's a shift. Our community is starting to come together to help veterans, and the different organizations are coming together. This Saturday's event at the Fox Theater will be the first time that all of the groups are working together to have one ceremony instead of their individual ceremonies. And it's exciting. I really think this stems from our work together with the Moving Vietnam Wall that was recently here. Yeah. And I hope we carry that forward, and we can do a museum and other projects that really help the veterans in our community. All right, so let's now jump to the focus of our show. We are going to talk about the Emergency Food Bank, and I am privileged to have the Executive Director, Mike Donaghy of the Food Bank, and also Jason Clark, a fellow board member. He and I serve on the board for the Food Bank. I'm going to let Mike start and talk about the Food Bank and how long he's been there and what the Food Bank does. Take it away, Mike.
All right. Well, thank you, Julie. So I have been with the Food Bank since June of 2016. The Food Bank, in its current format, was founded back in 1968. Wow. So next year is going to be our 50th anniversary, big anniversary for us. Prior to 1968, the Food Bank was a grassroots organization run by community members. Generally speaking, it was an unfunded operation prior to 1968. Completely grassroots, community-driven, very much like it is now. We're still very much a grassroots organization. Very little funding comes from government sources. We do receive some county, city, and federal grant money, but only 29% of our operating budget. 71% of our budget is local dollars. Generous donations from our community, local businesses, foundations, and individuals.
That's huge. And you had mentioned that you recently spoke at the Rotary Club of Stockton, and I didn't realize, I think probably most people have the idea that a lot of the organizations that serve in our community are hugely government supported, and it's not the case at all. You are constantly fighting and working to get dollars for events and to be able to help people in our community.
Yeah, fundraising is a big part of what I do and what the food bank does. In fact, Stockton Rotary has been it's been a big supporter of the food bank over the years, with some very generous donations to help with special projects and just with providing funding to purchase food.
Well, and this week you shared with me, and I'm going to make a plea on the station and have you chime in, that right now you're short on T-shirts for the Run Walk Against Hunger. This year donations are down. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, donations have been down a little bit this year for the Run and Walk. There's a lot of competition for donated dollars out there, and this has been a tough year for people. We've had the fires and the hurricanes and floods and just disasters left and right. So we've had to hustle to bring in enough funds to make sure we've got enough turkeys and enough food on hand for our Christmas and Thanksgiving food box giveaway.
And is that where the majority of the money that's generated from the Run Walk goes to?
Yeah, well, it goes to generally operating the food bank throughout the year. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year, so it's a very important event for us. Last year we had just about 3,000 runners attend that event. So the Run and Walk is actually, it's on Thanksgiving Day. It's somewhat of a Stockton tradition. To be out there at the ballpark, 7:30 in the morning and do the
Banner Island
run. Yeah, Banner Island Ballpark. Yep.
What year is this for the Run Walk?
This will be the 13th year.
All right.
13th year.
And I'll be out there. I ran in it last year. This year I'll be there helping as a board member. Back up just a little bit and tell us, I know that you've had 30 years in the community working with nonprofits and also as a businessman. What drew you to the food bank? Why did you want to work at the food bank?
Well, boy, that goes back a long way. Like you said, I've been involved in nonprofit throughout my business career, and always felt that it was a place that I wanted to spend the latter years of my career giving back and working in the community. That's just always been a tenet of mine to give back. I mean, I've been very blessed in this community. The community's been very good to my wife and I, and this is a way for me to give back.
Awesome. And Jason, let's come and talk to you a little bit. How long have you been a board member, and what drew you to the food bank?
It's been about 5 years that I've joined the food bank as a board member. My initial stay here in Stockton was as an insurance agent. Like Mike, the community has provided me a good income for my family, and at this point in time, since I've retired, I'd like to give back to the community. And this is one of the ways that I've actually done it. Providing fundraising is a big thing. The thing that I would like to see, and I've also seen a line of people coming in for the food, is their needs.
There's a huge need.
Very hard, a lot of needs for the community. A lot of people are not that needy. They just need to have a helping hand to get ahead. And once they get ahead, they prosper. Going through the line, talking to these few people that are in the line, it's really heartwarming. And one of the biggest things I have seen, and I'd like to see other people join in, is being part of volunteer. Biggest thing we need is fundraising, donations, also assistance and volunteering. We really like to have people join in, and it's amazing how good your heart feels after you provide that time.
Awesome. And let's key off of what Jason just said. If they want to volunteer, what number can they call to volunteer, or how can they reach out to the food bank to volunteer?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways. Just calling the food bank, 209-464-7369 is our number. Anyone that answers the phone can help you with that, can get the information. Angela King's our our volunteer coordinator. She ultimately schedules all the volunteers. On average, the food bank has probably 15 volunteers a day, Monday through Friday, to operate the food line. So yeah, we're always looking for volunteers, administrative volunteers for the office, folks to work the intake line, folks to work the food distribution line.
Events.
Yeah, events are a big part of it. The food box distribution in November and December take about 100 volunteers apiece to run and organize that event. The run and walk, it's almost 200 volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we, every year we get them, and we have groups that are, again, it's kind of an annual tradition for them to come back to the food bank and volunteer. So it's great.
That's awesome. And where is the food bank located?
We are at 7 West Scotts Avenue, kind of back there behind where the fire department training facility is, under the El Dorado overpass.
All right. And do you have a web page?
We do. www.stocktonfoodbank.org.
And a Facebook page?
Yes, we do.
All right. Yeah. And that's just the emergency food
just
bank?
The emergency food bank.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. I do want to also touch on a misconception that I think a lot of people have about the food bank that you explained at Rotary. So who can get food for the from the food bank, and are you helping the homeless? What's required?
Right. So the food bank serves any resident of San Joaquin County. The only thing you need for service at the food bank is a county residence. So we require a photo ID with a county address, unexpired. And if you don't have a current valid ID, an expired ID with a piece of mail with your name and address on it is all. There are no income requirements.
Awesome.
We find that folks, you run into, like Jason was saying, you run into needs, you run into a problem. The refrigerator went out, the car broke down, unexpected medical expenses, and you find yourself coming up short some months.
Or even the end of the month.
Or even the end of the month.
A lot of people run out of money at the end of the month.
Exactly, and the food bank's there to help. We have clients that are regular, that we see, consistently at the food bank, and then we have other clients who come in when they need service. No one goes to the food bank because they want to. You're there because you need to be there.
How often can they come to the food bank, and what can they get?
You can come to the food bank twice a month. In between those times, we have 27 pantry partners who are open various days of the week and times of the month that can help supplement. As far as what you receive, you go through the intake line, where we document that you've been here. Then you go to what we call the protein window, which is typically some form of frozen protein. It might be beef, might be pork, might be chicken, might be hamburger, turkey. I mean, it's whatever we have been able to secure to distribute. From there, you head through the food line, which includes canned goods, boxed goods, fresh produce, fresh fruits, dairy, which would include milk and yogurt. We're fortunate, again, very blessed by the business community to receive quite a few regular, consistent donations of product that we're able to, fresh product that we're able to distribute to the community.
And I liked that you also mentioned the other day in Rotary that people are not forced to take items in the line that they don't want. They can choose what will work for them. Right.
Yeah, and we try to pay attention or help people if they've got specific dietary issues.
It's amazing.
That's becoming more and more an issue with health. We find that a lot of times folks that are food insecure, who don't always know where their next meals come from, also tend to suffer a higher rate of diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. These are problems that we try to help them manage, with our food selections. Last year, we developed a nutrition policy for the emergency food bank, and for the most part, we have cut out, I would say, 98% of snack type foods, things high in saturated fat, sugar sweetened beverages. Occasionally we'll have juice, but we don't distribute soda. At one point, the food bank actually had a warehouse literally full of nothing but sugared soda.
Wow.
So that's all gone. Those days are behind us, and we're focused on
Moving
providing
forward, healthy.
nutritious, healthy food.
Wonderful. And Jason, do you want to talk about the variety of different ways that you've been able to volunteer at the food bank, some of the activities you've done?
Yes, most definitely. The Run for Walk is something that I've really got involved in. Excuse me. Being there first thing in the morning and seeing all these people out there, smiles on the faces, eager to run, and that final gunshot for people taking off. It's really exciting, and it's something everybody that has not been involved in that join in, even if they have to be just onlookers. Another thing is the giveaway, the turkeys, Christmas time, and Thanksgiving. It is unbelievable, the smiles you see on the faces of the kids, and that is really warms your heart to see that. Christmas in July, seeing all these young fellows, young
That's my
boys and
favorite.
girls, yes, getting those knapsacks filled with snacks, all the pens and pencils, make their stay at the school enjoyable. Seeing those, it's just really heartwarming, and that's part of the giving I give, the time I put out there, and it is so simple, just time you provide to help out. If you've not done it in the past, I'd say at least one day come by and check out the food bank, come to one of these different events, see what they do.
And anyone can volunteer, and this is an easy way to volunteer, and it makes such a huge difference in the lives of so many in our community.
Exactly.
And you and I have volunteered at several fundraising events together, different golf tournaments and such. I love that you touched on the Christmas in July. That is actually the reason that I wanted to join the board for the food bank. And for those of you that are not aware, what's so unique about it, I mean, you think about the food bank as distributing food. This event really doesn't have a lot to do with food. It's about giving away backpacks, and we give out about 700 backpacks to kids in the community in need, but we also connect them to vital community services. There's multiple booths out there that will help families with a variety of different needs, and I'll have Mike touch on the booths and such, but it's just phenomenal. And I want to give a shout out to Mayor Tubbs and also Susan Eggman, who both came out to this year's Christmas in July and spent time with the kids and the families, not only giving out backpacks, and the mayor gave out books, but talking to the families and really showing that they care about the people in our community. And I'll have Mike talk about Christmas in July.
Yeah, so Christmas in July, has become an annual event for us. It's actually a resource fair as well as our Christmas in July. So the resource fair consists of 25 to 30 booths set up around the property with goods, with services primarily that are geared towards low income, to be able to direct folks and help them with some of their needs. This year we had the Lions Club at the Christmas in July
Yay,
event.
we were cooking.
Yes, and you served about 1,200 hot dogs. So it was quite a
And who else was there?
And who else
Where
was
are
there?
we?
Yes, the voice of Stockton was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Governor Don himself and the crew were out there.
That's right. Yeah, we had a lot of great support for that event. As you said, Susan Eggman and Mayor Tubbs, both came out and spent quite a bit of time with us. It was very, very pleased. I mean, we always like to invite our local politicians, and it's wonderful when they're able to come and spend time with with the community and see some of the things that we do. So as Julie mentioned, 700 backpacks stuffed with some breakfast foods and school supplies. That goes a long way. I mean, as we all know, back to school supplies are not cheap, and especially if you have several kids. Yeah. So it's a big event for us, and we really we appreciate the sponsorships we get for it, and it's one of the more heartwarming events that we do, because
amazing.
the kids really, because you can just see the how grateful they are when they receive their backpacks.
Well, and the first time I went out a year ago to that event, it was with Hope, Helping Other People to Expand. That's Glenn Jose's nonprofit. that does a lot of huge work in the community, helping to do cleanups and helping prevent violence and just helping kids. In fact, we have our big Christmas toy giveaway coming up on December 16th. But I was honored to be out there, and I was just amazed with what I saw, and it really is the reason that I wanted to join the board for the food bank. But the food bank does a lot of other things in the community that I think most people have no idea, which is part of why I wanted to have you here today. Do you want to talk about the van that goes out in the community?
Yeah, Mobile Farmers Market, big program for us. And again, I guess to start at the beginning, it's two essentially panel vans that we've converted to Mobile Farmer Market vans. They visit typically 2 sites a day, 60 sites a month, and they provide basically they go out to community centers, local schools, senior centers, any area where people gather and typically don't have access, either close access or affordability access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So the Mobile Farmers Market is a distribution point for fruits and vegetables. In addition, our Mobile Farmers Market nutrition educators provide a recipe, a cooking class, and we also distribute a monthly newsletter in both English and Spanish called Let Us Talk. So
Let Us Talk.
Let Us Talk. Right. So it contains, again, the recipe of the month, usually some health tips, cooking, food safety and handling tips, things like that. So big program, again, serves a lot of underserved areas. There are a lot of what we call food deserts in Stockton, particularly South Stockton, where you're not finding, the typical grocery store that might have a wide selection of fresh fruits and vegetables. And for anyone that lives in South Stockton, it's typically quite a drive, and if you don't have a car, it's a long walk or a long bus ride. Mm-hmm. We see that even with folks coming to the food bank. A lot of folks just don't have transportation. They walk or they have to get a ride. So the Mobile Farmers Market essentially brings the produce to them or to their neighborhoods to make it easier for folks to come and receive the free produce.
And they teach them how to prepare the food. So if it's a food that they're not familiar with, a unique vegetable, it teaches them how to cook it and gives them some recipe ideas for how to use it, which is great.
Right, absolutely.
And then they also receive free food at those events?
Yeah, 12 to 15 pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's a huge community service. That's amazing.
Yeah, so in addition to that, and what kind of plays off on that is our nutrition education program. So we have twice a month it's the second and fourth Friday, I believe, each month, is a nutrition education class held in our demonstration kitchen there at the food bank. One of our Mobile Farmers Market nutrition educators puts on the class. They again do a recipe. They talk about health and nutrition, food safety, and for all the attendees, they also leave with a bag of produce and also have an opportunity to go out to our community garden and harvest whatever fresh produce we might have ripe on the vine.
And I'm glad you mentioned the community garden. When I first joined the board, you mentioned to me that you wanted to reestablish the Master Gardener program at the food bank, and I was really excited to hear that because my husband, Bill Brown, the past director of Gospel Center Rescue Mission, just finished his Master Gardener program, and he's excited. He's been out to a couple events at the food bank related to the Master Gardener program.
Yeah, so the Master Gardeners have been hugely instrumental in getting our garden up and going and helping us with planting and crop selection, irrigation, fertilization, pruning, all of those things. Coming into next spring, we will be having twice monthly classes at the food bank.
Awesome.
Yeah, on gardening, typical gardening topics. We're also looking for families that might want to adopt a plot to be able to grow their own garden. If you live in in an apartment, you probably don't have a location to grow a garden. So you can adopt a plot at the food bank, and the master gardeners will help you plant and grow a garden.
And we need more community gardens. There was actually a thing on Facebook that talked about people using their front lawns as community gardens, and I reached out to Jeremy Tuhune, who's affiliated with Starting Puentes, and which is one of our biggest community gardens,
Right.
to see if that was something that we could start to work on, because the more vegetation we have, then the fewer food deserts that you mentioned, and the more that people will be eating healthy. I want to touch back on something Jason mentioned earlier about the turkey distributions, both at Christmas and at Thanksgiving. One of the ways that we get those turkeys is the Stuff the Bus event. Did you want to talk about the Stuff the Bus event?
I'm going to give that to Mike, because he has head that up.
Yeah, Stuff the Bus. So that is a joint event between the food bank, RTD, the transit, local transit authority, and Food for Less. So on Friday the 16th, Saturday the 17th, and Sunday the 19th of November, RTD will have a couple of buses out at the Hammer Lane Food for Less, and we will be accepting donations of non-perishables as well as turkeys. That's a great location and a great opportunity to swing into Food for Less, pick up a turkey for the family, and pick one up for a family in need.
That's awesome.
Last year we raised a little over 300 turkeys from the Stuff the Bus event, and thousands of pounds of non-perishable food.
And that's huge. And that looks like that Friday is the 17th. So 17th, 18th, and 19th at Food for Less on Hammer Lane and Lower Sac.
Right.
Please come and help those in our community. This, again, is an easy, inexpensive way. If you can't do a turkey, get some cans of food that you can give, and try and get low salt items if you can, or low sugar items if you can, just so that we can keep it healthy for as many in our community as possible.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's a very good point.
All right. So, Jason, is there anything else that you wanted to highlight or mention about the food bank?
Well, I think the biggest thing is volunteers. Funding is a big thing, but volunteering is a great help to the community and also to the food bank. This is one thing that I've also been past president of the Kiwanis at Stockton, and also past president of the Lotus Kiwanis Club. They have provided a lot of help. Our key clubbers that we have in schools have provided a lot of volunteer help towards the food bank and other facilities to assist in providing some help. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I think that everybody that would come down and volunteer, big thing, volunteer, it really warms your heart to see these people receive the food, and once again the smiles you see on the children's faces, knowing that they're going home and having a good meal.
It's huge.
Please join us. It's well worth your while. It only takes a few minutes of your time to come down there. Just call up, volunteer your time. We're greatly appreciative of that.
Well, and food is so pivotal. Obviously, we need food to survive, but you also need food to think clearly. Statistics show that kids in school that are served breakfast or have lunch do so much better, perform so much better in school. And it's just important that our community has this wonderful organization that helps so many. One event we haven't talked about yet is the gala that you and I are going to work on together. It's going to be a big fundraising event for the food bank on April 28th at the Elkhorn. And I feel privileged to help you with that, and hopefully we can raise a lot of funds to help those in need in our community.
Yeah, and we appreciate you chairing that committee. It's going to be a fun event. We're looking forward to having an opportunity, to meet more of the community and many of our donors. The food bank has not in the past had many face-to-face type events, sit-down events. This will be an opportunity for us to talk to some of our donors and the public and meet them face-to-face. It's a little harder to do that on the Run Against Hunger and some of the other running events that we participate in.
And we'll celebrate 50 years of community service.
Right. So it's a big year for us next year. Very big year.
Is there anything else you wanted to add about the food bank?
Oh, there's all kinds of things. There's all kinds of things. How much time do we have? So, first of all, right now, the Super Bowl raffle is going on, which is a fundraiser for many nonprofits in Stockton. The Spanos family provides 6 Super Bowl tickets, and we raffle those off on December 14th. And as a fundraiser, the Emergency Food Bank is selling raffle tickets at $100 a piece. So anyone that is interested in a 1 in 6 chance, 1 of 6 chances for a Super Bowl trip to Minnesota this year, give us a call at the food bank, and we'll send you a raffle order form. So we would appreciate your support in that area.
And I have tickets also for the food bank, selling them for the food bank.
That's right. Yes, all of our board members should have tickets on them, and we're actively selling them right now. Our next event coming up, I thought I would talk a little bit about, which is our November food box distribution. That's going to be on Monday, November 20th, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's located at the food bank. So if you're going to be coming to that event, again, you'll need you need a valid photo ID showing that you live in San Joaquin County. If your ID is expired, you'll need to bring another piece of identification, a piece of mail with your name and address on it, something to confirm that you do live in the county. Our grants require that the funds that we receive are spent on county residents, and that's why we check that information only. Again, none of our services are based on income.
And my Lions Club is helping out with that distribution. Shout out to Stockton Host Lions.
Right. And as Jason mentioned, Key Clubs. We've got a Key Club, couple of key Clubs helping out on the 20th. So anyway, on the 20th, folks that come to the food bank will receive a box with a turkey in it, probably a 10 to 14 pound turkey, plus all of the fixings, cranberry sauce, yams, mashed potatoes, gravy. We're not sure what fresh produce will be there, but we expect to have oranges and apples, and perhaps some other fresh produce. So it's a box full of all of the typical kinds of foods you would expect to have for a holiday meal.
And they don't need to sign up ahead. They can just show up.
Just show up.
And the address again?
7 West Scotts Avenue, under the El Dorado overpass.
And what time will people typically be lining up?
Well, people start lining up very early. We even have had folks line up the night before, and it's just not necessary. If you are in line, you will be served.
Awesome.
So there is, we like I say, we open the line at 8, and usually we're through the line by noon or 1. But if you're in line, you'll get served.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then in December, we do a similar event on Thursday, December 21st. Again, it will be another food box distribution. Same thing, turkey and all of the holiday fixings. So,
awesome. Excellent.
I think we've covered the run. Just to give you a little more information on that.
You can show that banner if you'd like, if you put it up to the camera.
Yeah. So the Run Against Hunger, Thanksgiving morning, the 23rd. There is a 6:30 a.m. is race day registration. At 8 a.m. we've got the kids quarter mile run. That's always a lot of fun. A lot of fun for the kids. We've got medals for all the kids that participate.
Yay!
Yeah, at 8:30.
And you can pre-register though also.
Yeah, yes. For the run, you can pre-register. You can go to the run website, www.runagainsthunger.org, or you can reach out to the Emergency Food Bank or visit our website, stocktonfoodbank.org, and follow the link to the registration. At 8:30, the 5K run walk and the 10K run begin. So again, the run starts out at Banner Island and returns to Banner Island, weaves around downtown. It's a lot of fun. We've been very blessed with great weather and expecting great weather this year. And this would be a great opportunity for me to thank all the sponsors. This event is a major fundraising event for us. Our title sponsor is the Michael David Winery Family Foundation.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, they have been a longtime supporter of the event. We have and again, most of our sponsors of this event have been long-term sponsors. Again, the community's been very generous in helping us with our fundraising efforts.
What are some other sponsors?
Oh gosh, we have Chase Chevrolet, Alpine Orthopedic,
United Way.
Yeah, United Way. Let's see, gosh, what's the name of the agricultural bank?
F&M?
F&M.
No, not F&M.
Oh, Farmers and Merchants.
No, it's Ag Credit. I think it's Ag Credit.
Okay.
Ag Credit. Yeah, it's a long list of sponsors. So forgive me if I don't remember all of the names.
But they're all appreciated, even if they're not mentioned.
That's right.
And they will be highlighted at the event.
Yeah, they're highlighted at the event, and we also have we also do publication. Publish thank you letters, or publish a thank you list in the paper and in our newsletter as well.
And besides volunteers at the event, are you looking for booths from organizations at the event?
Only from sponsors. So
Okay.
the booths are limited to sponsors. So if
Okay.
you want a booth at the event, give us a call. There's still time to sign up as a sponsor.
What's the phone number again?
464-7369.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate both of you coming out today, and also just to thank you for all the wonderful things that you helped the community with.
Thank you, Julie.
Great. Thank you.
All right. I'm signing off. Thank you. Have a great day. I am the voice of Stockton. You are the voice of Stockton. We are the voice of Stockton. Take care.